Welcome, welcome, welcome to Coffee with Joy. I'm your favorite host, Joy with Coffee with Joy. So excited to have you all here. This is our YouTube live, and I'm so excited to have my guest Trey as we talk about knowing Jesus. As we know, creating content is not for the weak. You really have to be in this game to really create content. So I have my guest Trey. We're going to bring him on, and then we're going to talk a little, a great conversation about knowing Jesus as well as creating content in the midst of celebrating who you are and what you love and really projecting that voice, making sure that no one else tears or break down the barriers that you have. So if you out there and you love to create content, please, the chat's open. We'll love to hear from you. We'll love to hear what your comments are. Keep in mind, please make sure that you like, subscribe, and follow Coffee with Joy across all social media. And we'll love to hear from you. If you'd love to be a guest, please make sure that you follow our website, which is located on the bottom, the www.thecoffeewithjoyshow.com. So let me bring my guest Trey on. Hey, Trey, how are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Good, good, good. So excited to have you. So excited to have you on with Coffee with Joy. So before we begin, can you tell people about yourself, and then we're going to jump right on in.
All right. Right now, you know what I'm saying? I'm in trying to get into the film industry, you know what I'm saying? I write scripts and stuff like that, and I did do a little stage plays, a little acting. I kind of veered away from that and started, want to be a writer. So my plan is to get upcoming new actors and new writers and producers and stuff like that, and get them together and try to get them pushed forward on into their destiny.
Awesome. Now, being a film director, what made you get into that field?
Well, it just started, as a kid, always entertained and stuff like that, and it's like your second nature, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I just decided to get into, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, kind of started out like playing sports, it's just entertainment. And then too, you know what I'm saying, growing up in school and in high school, stuff like that, I was a class clown. So hey, I was like, hey, might as well use it.
Now, do you see yourself going further into getting into as far as like getting any actors, actresses, because you say you love to do that. Now, what is the ultimate outcome for that?
The ultimate outcome is to get the people that I'm trying to gather together to get them into their destiny. Yeah. Because I know how hard it is to get in the film industry, and when you don't have nobody helping you, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's
extremely hard.
Still hard for me. It is.
No, it is very hard knowing that with the technology that was out there, as far as like AI, far as like different tools where you're able to, you really don't need the body. Sad to say, sometimes you just do the script, and if depending on what AI you use, technology is really knocking a lot of things that we used in the past to really develop and really be cost efficient. So when people who have a drive, it's very hard for them to make a way into that film industry, know. So going by creating content with that, how has creating content, especially like what your message is, how has that been thus far?
Creating content about the scripts, the film industry, or just
overall, yes.
Well, I just get on. The content I created I don't try to do nothing special, whatever. I just put the camera in front of me, just hit record, and have it come out. I put it up like that. I go kind of raw and uncut, and I don't do no editing or anything like that with it. I just put it up, and I don't really do content with my with the things I write. I want to wait and put that on film. Yeah.
So what are some things that you do like to write?
I like to write things that I'm not you know how you go to movies and stuff, and you watch stuff, and you without a doubt that all this stuff is fake. I don't like to write stuff that's fake. I like to write where people watch it, they can relate to it, be like, man, I went through that. You know, my brother, he went through some stuff similar to that. You know what I'm saying? I like to write like inspirational stuff that way. If a person is going through some things, they can, you know, try to help them, you know, overcome that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, even doing that, do you find that to be kind of hard to try to convey those messages, trying to make it always relatable? Or do you just do the message so that people can relate to what you have written?
Well, what makes it easy for me to write because I've been through it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I already experienced most of the stuff that I have written down.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Wow.
So that make it kind of easy. But I'm gonna tell you some crazy stuff though. One not script that I wrote, I didn't experience nothing that I wrote. For some reason, God made me go through everything. He made me go through everything that I wrote down. I said, man, that ain't why I wrote that.
Yeah. Yeah, God has a way of showing like, okay, yeah, you may be able to write it, but I'm gonna change the whole plan, change
Right.
the whole idea. Now, in like, you want it to be more inspirational, transparent, and really show that where individuals are in their, in your writing so that people can relate. How has Jesus been part of your life of growing up and really trying to amplify that part, letting people know about Jesus?
Uh, well, you know what I'm saying? I was raised up in the church, but you know what I'm saying, just because you were raised in the church doesn't mean you were I was following Jesus the whole time. You know what I'm saying? So I really didn't get real serious following Jesus until about 2010, 2011.
Hmm.
Yeah. So Jesus he a big part of my life right now, you know what I'm saying? Well, forever. So I use him as a foundation of whatever I do.
So now that you express that, have people come to you to really relate on some of the information that you share on your social media about Jesus Christ, or just about, whatever information that you're spewing out through your content?
You know, I have some people, you know what I'm saying, they'll come in and be like, I'm glad you came across my FYP and stuff like that, you know, and like far as on social media now in real life, you know, it's kind of different, you know what I'm saying? I have people come up to me and be like, hey, I can tell you that you follow Christ, because I really don't talk about Christ like that, like in person, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like if you see me in person like that, I really I don't. I just carry myself like I follow Christ. You know what I'm saying? So people don't have to guess. You know, people can say they follow Christ all day long, but they really don't. You know.
Oh no, that's definitely facts. Many people talk about how they love Jesus and their life don't portray that. We
Right.
already know that, right?
Right.
Yeah, we already know that. Now,
Right.
in creating content, has there's been like any challenges, like any ups and downs where as you started your content journey?
Man, I'm gonna tell you, yeah. Uh, when I sometimes, I'm gonna use last week for instance. Last week, I really didn't put up much because I was going through like a spiritual battle. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't really have the goal to create to put out the word, because I was battling, you know what I'm saying, myself. I was not battling myself, but I was battling through the spiritual
Yeah.
realm. So I didn't have the go, I didn't have the spunk, I didn't have the motivation to want to put up content. And then when I did put up content, I found myself putting up something that I normally don't put up. Now like, nah,
Mm.
let me back up and regroup. But even though I put up something I normally don't put up, I didn't delete it. I just left it up.
Mm.
Yeah.
And what has been the outcome of that post?
Uh, People like it.
Because sometimes when we sometimes when we want to make like divert and go in different direction, or even just the thought,
Yeah,
sometimes our mind and body is not in one place, right? And
right.
sometimes it's like God intuition. God is telling us something to push us or to pull back, or something is speaking to us, right? Because
Yeah,
again, we know that when creating content and especially talking about Jesus, it could be hard for someone to receive because not everyone express it correctly. Not
right,
everyone been transparent about it, and they don't live that life, right?
right,
So when you're trying to make that avenue go left and somebody sees it, it really could taint or really could go up. But I say could keep the course, because
right.
at the end of the day, people like and dislike what they do every single day. And
Yeah,
my post should not I should not allow that post to determine that, oh, I should put this up or I should put that down because of your feelings. If it feels good to me to post, I'm gonna post it, whether you like it or do not like it.
right,
So that's how, when creating content, that's why I stated earlier, creating content is not for the weak, is not for the faint at heart, because again, you're really exposing yourself. You're putting yourself out
right,
there, whether you're talking about Jesus or not, you're putting yourself out there in some form of fashion, because you're giving the enemy, and not to say anyone out there is the enemy, but you're giving people a little ounce of who you are.
right,
You're talking, or you're showing, or you're expressing, so that person or that individual has just a little more about you, and the interpretation could be totally wrong.
right,
Just because I'm showing some clothes or I'm in fashion, don't make me, oh, I'm trying to become a Jezebel, or I am trying to become a model. I just want to show my clothes. So again, your interpretation is not for me to understand. What I put out is my business, and that's what I like. But at the same time, some people could feel different because of how someone portrayed their post. So
yeah.
that's the reason why I asked. Now, going along in your journey, what is your outcome be doing? What is your outcome with content creation? What do you see in the end? What do you hope to see in the end of creating your content?
I'm my content. I'm I really don't have an outcome. I really don't have a goal on a social media goal. Uh,
Okay.
'Cause I just post. You know what I'm saying? And whatever the outcome, that's what I'm take. You know, if if I get to the point where TikTok and YouTube is the only platform that I have. I deleted IG and Facebook uh because
Why did you delete those?
I just got tired of them. You know what I'm saying? I just started disliking Facebook. I've been disliking Facebook, and then IG got I don't know. It was getting to the point where they wouldn't put my content out. You know, I didn't get no views or nothing like that. You get like 5, 6 views. You know what I'm saying? So I got sick of that. But but TikTok and uh and YouTube, I don't have a goal. But whatever happens, happens. If I get to the point where I can start getting a check from them, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, I'm gonna take it. You know what I'm saying? But that's not my goal.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you show up on this platform every day and you don't have a goal, Mr. Trey.
Nah, I just really get on TikTok to have fun.
But we're gonna have to have you a goal, because again, time is precious. We don't want you to waste your time. Time is precious, because the reason why I said a goal, because when we have that carrot, when God give us something we look forward to, it
Yep.
makes us achieve and work towards it, right? Because
Yeah.
again, that's what these platforms are. They want you to stay on these platforms. They
Right.
want you to stay on here and just act as if you don't have a life. But
Right.
if I'm gonna be on here, I'm gonna feed what I like, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna attain something from it. I'm
But
going
but
to get something from my time. In
but,
the
but
words
yeah, go ahead.
No, no. No, I was gonna say, in the words of Denzel Washington, I'm leaving with something. I'm
Yeah.
leaving with
Right.
something.
But
Because
but my goal is like a TikTok goal. If I can help somebody along the way, that's I guess you can use that as a goal. But my thing is I don't have a monetary thing. You know what I'm saying? If I can just help somebody along the way on TikTok, you know what I'm saying? If I don't do nothing but help two people, I'm cool. You know, as long as I help somebody along the way, if I can help somebody get over a hump or whatever. But for like a monetary goal, I don't have that. I don't have that drive for social media like that. Like I said, I just get on there and have fun. Now, if I get to the point where TikTok start paying me, yeah, that's cool. But I don't have that. It's not a goal because I know
Yeah.
TikTok fade away one day. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, facts. But but creating, you're on there, right? Now
I know, but what I do come natural, so it don't feel like work.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, do have people reached out to you like in a way of that you're touching them? Thank you for your content.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
That's good because again, that's one of the rewards there, where knowing that you're helping somebody and you're putting, because you're showing up for somebody, and somebody knowing that that's the medicine they need in order to maneuver, or they need to go across, or just seeing that ounce, just seeing your message, give them an ounce of how to move to the next level and how to get better on what they're doing. So with you want to be a film director, have you worked with anybody in that field in order to determine how you could go further in that arena?
Nah, I don't work with some people, but the conversation, they never had the conversation.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you know how it is when you meet people, man, you don't want to, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to like try to run up in there right quick. You know what I'm saying? Let me get some work in. Let me build a relationship with them first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got a guy that I got an idea I'm gonna work with, but he don't know it yet. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, it's always good when you have a love for it and you ask God to direct your steps so that you can meet people, right? You may have to ask that question right away, because you may not get a second chance, because people live life in a scurry, meaning that it's always going to go.
And then too, it's some people that I met, I don't want to work with them. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
So I got this is one guy in particular that I want to work with. I've been on a couple of his sets and did some background work for him. And I'm gonna tell you the crazy thing about it. I ain't gonna mention his name. And I was like, man, I wish I could run into such and such. So hey, I woke up. So I come to the park every day. One day I woke up and I came to the park, and he was at the park. I've been coming to that park. I've been going to that park for like 3 years. Never seen no celebrity at a city park.
Right.
And I'm like, okay. I said, I see you, God. You know what I'm saying? So he been coming every day. I talked to him a couple times. He said he remember me being on his set, but I ain't said nothing to him about it. But I got my scripts with me whenever I get that hunch to give it to him. I'm gonna holler at him.
So do you see him on an occurrence, or that was just a one time?
Oh no, he been coming last week he didn't come at all, but the week before that he was every day. And then this week he been here every day. Yeah. So
wow. That's amazing. Because when you're able to see somebody, and you're able to at least get a chance to present what you have, is always great. Now, we know what now, do you do any edits with your video, or you just, produce your videos just as is? Do you use any apps, anything of that nature with your videos?
I'm straight iPhone. I'm putting up straight raw. Like Country Wayne used to say, it's uncut, straight raw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the only reason I ask that, because a lot of people do that, right? They don't add any fluff to it. They just put it up. They just see as is. They just look at it, make sure that it's presentable, and they push it through. Now, do you see yourself using any apps to enhance or to really drive your content more?
No, because what I have learned on TikTok, people want to see it raw.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
and I saw this girl yesterday. Matter of fact, she really confirmed to me what I was already saying and thinking. She said all this time, y'all just want me to get on here and talk. I've been getting on TikTok, taking time editing my videos and doing all this type of stuff. Y'all just want to see me talk. Y'all just want to see this raw video. And I was like, there it is. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
facts, facts,
But
facts, facts.
don't get me wrong. I think if you trying to get on if you trying to make TikTok one of your main things, I don't get me wrong. I think you should do a video. Uh, you know, do a nice one here and there sometimes.
But but like you stated, no, some people like that. People on TikTok, they really, the social media. I consider social media like grow stores, right? I put
Mhm.
them in the store. So, like I say, TikTok to me is Target. I mean, Walmart. IG is Target, and of
Mhm.
course, Facebook is like Costco. You see them how you see fit, because there's different audience consumers for different stores. So in that same sense, when you come to TikTok do like it raw. Some people rather just hear your story. Some people want that transparency. They want you to be open. They want you to be very expressive in sharing what you have, because when you do that, you're making yourself relatable to somebody else,
Right.
without the fluff, without the decoration, without the editing. You just come in directly, just telling your story. Because of course, how many times can we listen to a dating stories
Mhm.
forever? Because even though it's dating, you got a story, I got a story, somebody else got a story, and it's always seen to be a denominator, right?
Right.
I could find myself in your story because we dealt with it. Not exactly, but some point in your story we dealt with it. So by you being raw and uncut, I am able to put myself there and kind of sympathize what you're going through,
Mhm.
especially when people have part one, part two, because they really want to share. And that's some people therapeutic. They
Mhm.
want to share. So by them getting that feedback in the comments from individual, it really making them feel like they're worthy. Like, oh wow, even though some comments may be, off the rockers, but hey, at least someone's seeing it. We're not gonna agree, we're just gonna agree to disagree, right? And of
Yeah.
course you have people who challenge it, but that's good to know because it is for a place for that, right? Where we don't have to sit up and facade
Yeah.
or spend hours on editing. Just look at it, put it
I,
up, and you'd be surprised.
I think then too. I think it depends on what platform you on. Now TikTok, you could throw it up there, as is. But I think IG and YouTube. I think you might need to.
But here's the thing. Me personally, I think they're all the same. It's just how you receive it as the individual. Because if I don't want to edit on TikTok and I don't want to edit on IG, I'm gonna put it on there just as is.
Yeah.
Because like I tell people, don't worry about the algorithm. My job is not to worry about who like and dislike. If I
Right.
want to put it out there, I put it out there. If God just say, hey, nobody likes my video, but I put it out there, you never know. God can make you last and me come first, because
Right.
he has a way to ordain things. I'm not doing it to people to say, oh yeah, let me see if I get 200 likes. No, I'm not doing that. I am going because if I'm living my life like Jesus, I am going to show up as is, and this is who I am. I'm
Right.
not going to be deterred or strayed away. But again, eventually, certain people gravitate to certain things where it makes the creator, the content creator, more comfortable in producing. Yes, I do agree. When you go to IG, some people do feel as though they have to fix themselves up. When you go to TikTok, you
Yeah.
just come as naked as you are. But when you're on YouTube, of course you need a little dressing, but I think all of them just the same. It's
Right.
just the individual and how you portray yourself on those platforms and how you see it. Because again, people like realness, people like consistency. So
Right.
I think when me say consistency first. People like that. And when you're consistent and you constantly showing up, you don't know who you're showing up for, but you
Right.
know you're showing up for you first. And
Right.
then somebody gonna say, wow, she's always on here. She's
Mhm.
always here. So it's almost like how you had to you walking past a store and you just walking, you may be window shopping, but something gets your attention and you jerk back. So eventually that person that kept bypassing your department, eventually something grabbed their attention.
Right.
Something pulled them back for them to say, you know what? this person's always here. They're always on time. They're always there. So eventually that will come. And does that always play? No, but that's the scenario that will happen. As long as you show up for you and you love what you're doing, you never know what voice or change you're doing for somebody. So
right.
yeah.
You can't get on there post for nobody else. Hey, I used to kind of get mad when somebody put some crazy comments in my comment section.
Mm-hmm.
But now I don't even care because you know sometimes TikTok will ask you if you want to review the comment. Yeah. I used to not approve them. I approve all of them now. I just approve them because I do know the more content, the more comments and stuff that you have, the more TikTok
push it.
Them.
And me personally, of course, I think I get decent comments, but even if I did, I don't have time to entertain because I can't justify my life to one person. As much as I think I am the best of all best, I know I'm a child of God, and I know that I cannot convey my message across as much as I think I convey my message. Some people just don't receive it. Some people say, well, that's crazy. How do you do that? What's going on? I just laugh and I like and keep going, or I just read it and keep going. Yeah, I don't take the time out. I let them all come in.
Yeah,
I let them all come in.
I get a kick out of them though. Some of them don't be derogatory toward me. They just be on there just talking crazy sometimes. But I posted one video one time about the guy that stabbed the football player here in Frisco.
Mm-hmm.
And the people in the comments, they were just going back and forth with each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
I'm like, I'm just sitting here getting entertained by them off my post.
Yeah.
You know, but
yeah, because then that's another sector, right? You call something and now people are fighting. They don't have nothing to do with you. All you did was just brought the conversation to the forefront. But that's what being a content creator is all about, right? Creating something, but in the midst, you know what you're creating, but you don't know what you created.
Right.
Because again, I know your intent was not to have two unknown or several people in the comments go at it, right?
And I didn't even expect that post to go like it did. You know what I'm saying? All I did was I made a little 20-second video. I said, I never heard of a cleat sharpener. All I said. And I explained what track shoes, how, you know, the spikes in the track shoe and all that. And that's all I said. And boy, them people went off in the comments with each other.
Yeah. I mean, you'd be surprised how some people really defend, how people go off, but that's great. Well, I'm telling you, Mr. Trey, keep doing what you're doing because you definitely you are a beacon of light. You're shining light in somebody's life. And of course, your content is amazing. So before we end the show, what is something that keeps Trey going? Affirmation, prayer, and all of this. What keeps him going to keep creating content?
You know, well, first of all, I pray, you know what I'm saying? That's if I wasn't on social media. They're gonna do that. Then after that, man, I just keep positive people around me. You know what I'm saying? I stay off of negativity, which you're gonna get that, but I still have the choice, the power to, if you're gonna be in my inner circle, you know what I'm saying? So I keep good people around me, you know what I'm saying? Dude, that's about it. Hey, and work out, you know. Keep my body moving. I eat good food, even though, you know what I'm saying, I got a sweet tooth.
Right. Yeah.
But that's about it, you know what I'm saying? Just
good.
Keep it positive.
Amen. Again, thank you, Mr. Trey, for being on Coffee with Joy. And please make sure that you like, subscribe, and follow Coffee with Joy. Today's conversation was amazing. So if you didn't get a chance to ask any question, please make sure that you put them below. And before we end the show, we want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there alive and those who have went on. We know it's in God's favor for those mothers to go on. He has taken his child home, but in good faith, we want to say Happy Mother's Day to all mothers, no matter what type of mother you are. Happy Mother's Day. And if you like to patronize our company, please make sure that you follow our QR codes, for we love for you to purchase. to patronize our company. Any amount would do. And if you'd love to be a guest on our Coffee with Joy show, please please go to our website, which is thecoffeewithjoyshow.com, as well as please leave a comment. Let us know. You know, if it's a weekday or a weekend, it is Coffee with Joy. Until then, you all live life on purpose, and we'll see you soon. See you all soon.